So hi everyone, welcome to the module 3 of this course. So here we are going to use two data. The first is India's SIF file data and second is women employment data. So throughout this module we are going to use this data for our visualization purpose. So let me read both the data. Let me first clean the environment and let's read first library, then the shapefile, then the data. So you can see that in the women employment data we have around 722 observation and 4 variable, and if you click here you will get a tabular form of data. So you can see we have state, year, indicator and the values and the respective values. So let's now use some data manipulation technique to clean the data. So let's first clean the white space. So I'm going to clean the white space in state column. So we can use the function trim w. Basically it trim the white spaces in the left and right side of the string. So data df again, and then here we can do, so here we can select the state. So let me run this code, and again if any white space is left in between the strings, for that we can use gsub function, gsub, and we want to replace that with nothing, and then we have data df and then again state. Now the cleaning process is complete. Now let's do some filtration. So filtration, why we are doing filtration, let me show you. So if you open the data df, so you will find an indicator column here. So in the indicator column there are multiple indicators like cruelty by husband, dowry death rate, rape rate. So which one indicator do you want to see in your map? So I am going to select the total crimes against women as an indicator for 2022. So we will filter this data, we will make a subset of this data. So how we can do that? So df, we can do subset, and here we can do data df, and we can apply the filter function, and within the filter function we can do indicator, and in an indicator we can filter the particular indicator. So if you want to see all the indicators, then you can use the table function for that, df, and then you can select the indicator. So here you got all the 7 indicators. So we want total crime against women, so I'm going to place it here, and again we want the data of 2022. So in a year I want the data of 2022. So if you want to see how many years of data we have, then you can again run the table function and data df, and you can put year here, and you will find that we have 22, 21, 20 data with us. So I'm filtering here 2022 data. So if I run this code, so now we have earlier it was 722 observation, now it got reduced to 37 observation. So if I want to see this data, then you can see here it has a state, year, indicator and value, and that in an indicator we have only one indicator, that's the total crime against women, and in a year we have only one year, that is 2022. So now we have the final data frame with us. So let's now join both the data. Both the data means India's SIF file and the data set. So to join the two data frames, you should have at least one column common. So here if you want to see all the name of the columns, then you can just write col name, and within a col name you can do India's SSP. So there are state and a geometry, and again you do it same for the data df subset. So you have state, year, indicator and value. So here we have the state, and here also we have the state. So we can use these two columns to merge the data frames. So let's now do the final. So let's now make this final data frame. So final df, and we can use the left join, and we should have we should have India's SIF file in the left, and data df subset in the right, and we want to join it by the name state, and here we have a state name, here is, and if I run this code, some error is coming. What is that? It's C. Okay, so it should be equal. So if I run this code, and now we have the final data frame with us. This one we can use it for the visualization purpose, for creating the leaflet map. So this one is a state, this one is geometry. In a geometry we have all the coordinates of the polygons, and this one is the year, and this is the total crime against women rate, and this one is the value. So let's now create the map. So as we have created this map in a module 2, similarly we are going to follow the same step to create the map in a module 3. So let's do that. Final df, and here we can do leaflet, and after that you can add tiles. In the add tiles we have used the URL template, and within the URL template you have to enter the URL. So we'll do that. So now we have to do the attribution, that's Google, and in the option we are going to provide provider tile option. In that provider option we are going to give the opacity is 0.7 that we are using throughout the module. So we have added the tile. Now it's time to add polygon. So let me copy it from the previous module. So in the fill color I have given blue color, not blue, let me give this something orange, and weight I am giving here 1, opacity is 0.5, color the boundary of the color is blue, and in the label we can give final df, we can give the name of state. Right, and there is one more option called label option. In the label option we have like if you want to give the some font weight, normal padding, some padding you want to give, if you want to adjust the text size, direction. So currently I have selected to auto, so now it's fine. Let me run this code again. So this is a code that we have developed, so let me run this. So we got the India geography here, but you can see the color here is consistent across all the region in the India, but we want to see the color as per the value. Like if the value is small, then it should be lighter in color. If the value is higher, then it should be darker in color. So what we can do one more thing. Let's do palette. We can use the palette color. So in the palette color we can use color numeric function, that it's a leaflet function, and within that we can use color numeric. We can use the palette is yellow, orange and red, and in a domain we can write the name of data, so data df subset, and here we want the values. So I have selected values here, and let me place it here, and then we can enter the values here, and if I run this code, wow, so we got the heat map kind of a spatial map. So now you can see the darker one, that's Assam has the highest number of women crime rate, and then we have Rajasthan, then we have other states, and the least one is Meghalaya and Gujarat. So this way you can show the data of any kind, like if you have a data of number of population in the state, number of population in the province, you can show it in a similar manner. And if you want to see the number of patients visiting the hospital, number of hospitals in the state, number of hospitals in the district, so similarly you can indicate the indicator in the. So what further we can do, so we can add the labels on the top. So if you want to see the number values along with the state name, then in the label option you can do that. So as here we can use the pest 0, and in the pest 0 you can change it to PR, and again here final df, and the value will be here, so comma. So we can apply lapply function, and HTML, and let's again run this code. Oh, HTML not found. I think I have not loaded the library, that's HTML tool. Very good tool for the if you want to use HTML code. That's a very good library if you want to use the HTML code. So this is HTML tools, yeah. So let's now run this code again. Yeah, it's coming. So it's Rajasthan 2022. So I have selected year. It should not be year, it should be values. Let me run this code again. So yeah, Rajasthan is 105, Madhya Pradesh is 75, Assam is 168. Yeah, so now it's the values are coming on hovering over the. So let's now add more function to the map, and let's now add the legend. So I'm adding legend here. So this one is a final df. So in the add legend I have given the title, So you can reduce the title like incident of crime committed against women, and I am using this color palette because from this color palette it will take the values and it will show the legend, and opacity is 0.75, and I'm keeping it bottom left, so you can make it bottom right, bottom left. So let me run this code again. Because of the title name, it's occupying all over the map. So what we can do, we can apply a break, and also we can apply a break here, and then I can again run this code, and let me zoom it. So wow, it's coming fantastic. So if you can see that that least one is 0 and the highest one is a 168 170 around, and this is the color palette that we have used, yellow, orange, red, and it looks very fantastic. So if you want to present someone, you can use this technique to show how visually effective way you can show something. So let's now add more function to it. So we can add full screen control, and also if you want to add the values here, like if the people don't want to hover it, people just want to see the map and want to know the values of each state, how we can do that, let me show you here. So for that you should have the coordinates. So if I see the data, the final df I think that we have, so we don't have the coordinates of the center of the each of the states. So we first have to develop the coordinates. We have to just first have to create the coordinates. So how you can do that, let me show you. So here we will create the coordinates. So you can see I have used this st-centroid. So st-centroid, if you see, it's a function of sf library. So this will give the centroid of each of the state in a spatial data. So if I run this code, so if you want to see it, so in the geometry column we got the centroid of each of the state. Now again let's extract the centroid coordinates, longitude and latitude. For that we have centroid coordinates, and centroid coordinate is also a function of SF library. If I run this code, and yeah, so we got the coordinates of each states here, x and y coordinates. So let me merge this value with the initial data frame. So I am combining this. C bind is basically used for the combining the column on the basis of column, and R bind combine the two data frame on the basis of the row. So just the stacking is difference. The C bind is a vertical stack, and R bind is a horizontal stacking. So if I run this code, let me give this name on final df, and if I run this code, yeah, along with all the indicator, now we have the x and y value. So now we can use this in the coordinates to show the labels over the map. So let me show you how you can do that. So I'm adding again pipeline, and the pipeline I'm adding a add label only marker. So add label only marker, and in within that we can give long, that's a x, and with the tilde sign we have lat, that's a y. So the values that we want to see over the each polygons, and then we want to give the label options, and in the label option I want to give no height, so it will not height. So in the label option we are going to use no height, true, and then comma, direction is center. Basically we are saying that we don't want to hide the labels, and direction is center, so we want to place it on the center. And again text only, and the text only we want to show it like it's only text that we want to show. Yeah, so if I run this code again, wow, let me zoom this. Now you can see that labels over the each of the polygons, over the each of the states. So there is no need to hover of any state. You just have to see the map, and you will be knowing that what's the value of the each states. Thank you. This is complete now, and we will see in the next video with some more add-on features of the leaflet and some more fantastic work that we are going to do. So stay tuned.